Hi, my name's Alex Wasily. I play in a local Chicago funk band called HipTrip. We all went to DePaul University together. A lot of us graduated in the same class, actually. We were a lot of different ages in the band, but definitely really good friends. We decided to throw these things called funk parties that just got wildly out of hand at my old apartment in Wrigleyville. We decided one day that these parties were fun and we had some traction and we're writing original music for the parties, and we just decided, why not make this like a thing and why not make it a band? And that's kind of how HipTrip was born. You already know me, I'm Alex Wasily, I'm the trombonist. I lead the band, I kind of call most of the shots, with, of course, listening to my peers. You can cut that part out. Zach Marks, good friend of mine, he's a drummer. He's from Chicago, one of the best funk drummers in the city. Just that guy, his pocket, his confidence, and I never feel lost ever playing with Zach. He's very easy to play with, and definitely was a really good decision maker. Which is really important in a band full of goons like us. The bassist, Mason Cormy, killer guy from Detroit, Meso Bass as we call him. He's an absolutely ridiculous funk bassist, and actually kills it on upright as well. All around great guy, one of my favorite members in the band. He just is such a pleasure to see all the time, and he's very much puts himself into every single thing that we play. There's never like a lull with Mason. On saxophone, Corbin Anderson, my roommate, one of my absolute best friends in the world. One of the most talented musicians in Chicago, hands down. He's from Decatur, Illinois. I have never ever seen that guy mess up. I know that sounds crazy, but he's one of the most fantastic musicians, not just saxophonists, that I've ever met. He's an inspiration. On guitar, Brandon Hunt, also from Chicago. Super great guy, super just like fun guy to have around. Super smiley. He's kind of the mad scientist of the band, if that makes any sense. He's got a great ear for fusion, and that really adds a lot to the band. Definitely can take it out of the funk world and into the jazz world, back and forth 5 times in one tune. And then last but certainly not least, Brad McDonald from St. Louis. He's a killer keyboardist. The guy who writes the slow songs is what we like to say. He's a very talented writer and arranger, and is always working, and is one of the better pianists in the city of Chicago for sure. Some of my favorite experiences with the band to date would definitely, of course, be the funk parties. If you were at those, hell yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I will say though that overall, I think the best experience that really brought the band together was the recording session that we did here at the beautiful Ivy Lab Studios with Chris Harden, one of the most fantastic engineers I've ever known. He engineered, mixed, and mastered our album at this beautiful space. We did 2 days here. We recorded all 10 tracks in 2 days. 20 hours of wild playing in this very room. It's something that I think every band should definitely experience is recording, because then you have something tangible that you can kind of say, this is us, this is everything we worked on, this is who we are in our own musical way, and that's for sure what our album is in every way, shape, and form. You'll be able to find our album on iTunes, and it should be available on Spotify as well. It's called Beams by HipTrip. I would describe it as a funk fusion album of almost all entirely original music. 9 out of the 10 tracks on the full album are written by us. It definitely captures everything that we are as a band. We are laughing through it, we're screaming, we're yelling, we're having a great time. It's almost like we're at a funk party on the album, and every single track kind of adds to that kind of crazy picture that is HipTrip. If I could give any advice to anyone trying to be a musician, I would say maintain a sickeningly positive, optimistic attitude at all times. Things can get pretty tough and pretty difficult, but the cool thing about living in a great city like Chicago, or living wherever you are, is that there are great people who are always willing to check out new things, and who knows, they might want to check you out, and it definitely is a cool feeling. Yeah, I don't know, that would be my best move. That and, practice.